And then your wingers, Abdallah Ba, Will Kidd, number 12, and then Whitney Brown with a couple of goals this season. He's your number 10 in that spot this evening. And then as we wait kickoff here, it's Duluth and the visiting Blues. We will run through their names as well, people to pay attention to. And we are underway here at Edor Nelson Field, home of the Augies and home of your Crows, with Duluth, the visitors, possessing early. And that's Jake Starling, number 3. He's pushing it back to goalkeeper Sullivan Lauderdale. Potentially a Florida connection for Mr. Lauderdale.
Hey, maybe. It would make sense.
That's Alberto Diaz, number 5. Will Kidd jostling for it, unable to get it. Now Garcia. There's Kevin Hoof, the game winner, hoofing the Twin Stars on Wednesday.
So nice that we could turn his last name into a verb.
Controlling it on the other side of the field. That's Dana Kowacek for Duluth. Nicely done by Garcia. And Elder will push it back towards midfield. What can we expect tonight as you see Villadere, Damia Villadere, number 18, controlling it back. Now Diaz. Nice turn there. What can we expect from Duluth?
Well, you can expect a very technical team. There's a lot of Spanish, South American, Brazilian names that are on that list, and they play like it. I mean, and
shot on net, easily corralled.
So when they put the ball down and play, they can be very dynamic. You saw a great bit of skill there by Diaz. A little bit of flair for the dramatics there with the pullback, but that's the type of thing that they can do. One thing that they also do is they look to immediately get the ball into attack. They hunt in packs, and they try to force turnovers in groups so that they have some support when they do move it into the offensive third.
Alabasi battling with number 31, Ronaldo Fortune. And he's a little bit slow to get up here, as he did win a free kick for the Blue-Greens.
To add to the previous note about what we can expect, what you can also expect is you can expect lots of shots from farther out. They do like to pull the trigger whenever they get the opportunity to, and 9 times out of 10, from what we've seen, they are on target.
Free kick opportunity, bodies into the box, and it is Carlisle Jr. taking it, a header on net. Diaz with the header. Elder didn't have to move an inch.
They also have size, Eric, and that kind of plays into what you just saw happen there. They are very, very good at getting up on the header for free kicks.
And that's going to be a concerning issue all night if you're going to have guys like Diaz with that much open space right there in the box. Fantastic delivery by Carlisle Jr., number 8 for Duluth, who, by the way, co-leads the Blue-Greens in goals. He has a pair of them thus far in 2019, as does, he may be new to the Duluth area, maybe new to the United States, I guess, James Westfield.
Yes.
An English product, and he has a couple of tallies as well.
Another in a long line of British attackers for Duluth, and he's not dissimilar from any of them. Very good on the ball, likes to get involved by tracking back, but it does most of his damage on the diagonal run.
Now here's Junior with Westfield running forward. He was looking for Kowacek on the far left side there. However, Elder is first on the scene, restarted, and now is Garcia. Fourth minute, and for the most part, Duluth handling the possession and the ball for the most part thus far. There's Whitney Brown trying to turn. He finds Stigwart. Very much a clogged midfield right now, as Duluth putting a huge emphasis on closing up any spaces. That's Jake Starling back there. Now Lauderdale, sun in his face.
Great initial movement by Duluth there.
Good idea there, Brooks Rice, who had the goal for Duluth against Med City earlier this week in that 1-1 draw up north. He'll be number 9. Now Westfield, Olsen all over him. There's Diaz trying to box him up. He does.
Diaz is a fantastic player, Eric. He's got the size you want out of a defensive center midfielder. He's got the composure. But if you give him space, like we've seen in brief pockets, he absolutely can pick out any number of the passes in the book.
Just too far. Throw in for Minneapolis City. The Crows playing a bit defensive and reactionary. Duluth very aggressive at the start. No call in the collision. Handball potentially on Junior. There's the whistle.
Perhaps the Crows can use this time to maybe regroup a little bit, get back to their shape, and try to keep the ball. They haven't really done a good job of trying to play in the possession, but Duluth has countered that with clogging up the middle. But that is allowing the the wingers to kind of have some free space in behind. Just that ball hasn't been seen to play to them yet.
Good idea there from Stigwart. May have just been a miscommunication as Abdallah Ba, number 17. Abdallah Ba with a goal here in 2019 as well. Streaking down is Koacek once again. Not enough wheels for number 19 to catch up to that.
Like I mentioned, Eric, they are very quick to get into the attack, and you can see that as soon as they win the ball, their wingers and really anyone along that front three is immediately sparked into trying to get forward towards goal. Obviously, that time didn't pan out, but it is something that they'll do all day.
Tried to switch fields for Will Kidd. Easy step in for Edor. Olsen having to regroup. Now Kidd with a bit of space on the boundary.
Good touch by Diaz.
There's Max Kent. Max Kent with a goal in the home opener against Dakota Fusion. It was the inaugural 2019 season opening goal.
Here's the Crows trying to keep the ball a little bit. This is what we wanted to see earlier on.
Westfield trying to nip at the tail of Kent, who gets it forward. Now Whitney Brown trying to turn inside. He'll find Stigwart. There's Luke Hawkinson, his first meaningful touch of the evening. Now Stigwart. Forward for Brown with the left foot. Isn't it just wide?
Great save by
Perfect
Lauderdale.
Touch by Whitney Brown as it just trickles wide of the net.
That's a corner kick, right? Didn't the goalkeeper make a save on that?
Unless there's an assumption, as Lauderdale did get a hand on it, the assumption must be that Hawkinson got a foot on it prior to it going out.
It looks as if, Eric, they're calling offsides.
They are indeed calling offside.
But typically Duluth deploys a three-back system with Diaz kind of sitting in point and shading it in front of it. The problem that you see with that three-back system, unless you're completely locked in with those four players, is the diagonal movements, because one run, like the one that Abdallah Ba made, it can completely drag two defenders out, and you see those pockets open up. And that's exactly what happened. And the way you beat that is with your quick 1-2 passing and movement off the ball. Trying to make Diaz move from that perch of sitting in front of the back line, make him uncomfortable and track a faster runner. Then our other midfield too can move into that space. Exactly what you saw happen there.
A very dramatic moment rendered irrelevant because the flag was up on the far side. But as you mentioned, diagonal runs. And that was a beautiful one executed by the Crows. Now Brown.
Whitney Brown's in.
It's Starling with the right foot.
Another offside call, but the AR decided to keep the flag down and let the play materialize there. I'm not quite sure about that one.
George Proctor, number 4. Now Junior. And Starling. Long idea for Westfield, who now Westfield chasing as the Crows possess. Just entering the 11th minute. Get to MPLSCitySC.com for merch, for tickets, for info and intel. Will Kidd winning a free kick. Learn about your Crows. Love your Crows. Get to MPLSCitySC.com. Quick switch, Alabasi. He controls. Duluth on site, on scene so quickly in the middle of the field. Early stages of this first half.
Oh, unlucky.
Oof, miscommunication there as Kidd moving forward. Now Diaz has it for Duluth. Now Westfield with some space, but it's Jonah Garcia stepping in.
A lot of silly giveaways for the Crows, Eric. Maybe bypassing the 5-foot view for the trying to hit the 10,000-foot view right away.
I think Duluth has also done a great job just suffocating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Specifically in the centralized, and then they'll push. I mean, we've seen it with Will Kidd so far. They don't care that he's on the boundary. They just make him run out of real estate, and they've been effective at it so far. Now curling in, nearly an opportunity for Brooks Rice, alone near the 6-yard box. Nice job defensively for Minneapolis City. Now you got to push it with pace, as Will Kidd is doing now. Might be trying to find, as he's giving it away now.
Oh boy, no one told Kevin Hoof what was going on there.
No.
Heavy touch in general, but nobody told him what was going on.
Out forward, that's Kowacek on the outside, centered for Westfield.
Smart by Alabasi to keep that in.
You throw in for Minneapolis City. Saturday night soccer here in Minneapolis. Southern side of downtown Minneapolis, campus of Augsburg University, Edor Nelson Field. Home of the Augies, home of Minneapolis City SC. Hawkinson trying to distribute to Aaron Olson. Upfield, throw in Duluth.
That was the overlapping run you saw against Sioux Falls that opened up his account for 2018 last week. Good tracking back by Whitney Brown to force them to go backwards.
Both teams conceding just 3 goals so far in 2019 through 4 games apiece. Difficult to beat both of these teams. Very much feeling that way early here as well. As it's Brooks Rice trying to make a turn. It's Max Kent all over him in a good way. Now Hawkinson trying to push forward with a shoulder shove.
A handball there.
It did look like a handball. Somebody's got to tell Hoof that he's got somebody on his back. Now forward, trying to switch for Abdallah Ba.
Looked like he got kind of wrong-footed that a little bit, but at least he's trying that ball. That ball has been on pretty much after the first 5 minutes for Ba on that run. It's just a matter of executing it, right?
If there was a camera on us in the booth, you would see my man John emphatically pointing at Abdallah Ba at least 4 to 5 times so far here in the first half. As you're right, that opportunity has been there, and it looks like it's going to be there. Just need to take advantage of it.
It's basically a product of Fortune, whatever you want to call him, number 31 for Duluth.
I'm a Fortune guy myself.
We'll call him Fortune. It's a product of Fortune not tracking back.
Now Kidd, trying to leave it for Whitney Brown.
But being a winger in a 3-5-2, it's not necessarily your job to do tracking back all the time. But if that overlapping run is continuing to be there, he's going to have to put in a shift on the defensive end. Yeah.
16th minute, still scoreless. Diaz looking for help. Going forward, nobody home but Jonah Garcia. Oof.
Look at Whitney Brown came from an offside position.
And the flag is up yet again.
That Lions guy is
Either-
definitely making his money right now.
Either we're seeing the most brilliant effort by an NPSL defensive unit to force a guy offside, or maybe we question one or two of those, but that's okay. That's not why we're here. Now, Ba is wide open with an opportunity. Nobody finds him. And as you mentioned, Fortune getting sucked into the middle of that field following and chasing the action. And Ba's just hanging out down here on the near side.
It's on again. Watch. Look at.
Wide open. Now Fortune gets it. So that'll be something to pay attention to here latter stages. Now Olsen. Brown.
Good turn by Whitney Brown.
Nice job by Brown. Moving inside. Fending off the challenges. Hawkinson trying to get a right foot on it. Now Ba. Nice job by Hawkinson to maintain possession here. Now let's see how Minneapolis City can act on the attack. There's Westfield forcing the issue with Kent. Now Hoof looking for Kidd, threading the needle, but unable to do so. Now Diaz.
It's a good step by Hoof.
And here's Diaz again. Forward for Westfield. He's got Brooks Rice in the middle. Looking on the backside. Ooh.
There's no way that was ever going on target.
Barbario.
I like it, though. I like it.
Can't score if you don't shoot, John.
Being a deep-lying midfielder in my day, I always had a green light from the parking lot. Step out of the car, you got the daylight, you just hit it. Capitalize 1 out of 100. So what? Score 1 goal.
Cheers as always to the ball kids in attendance at Edor Nelson Field tonight. Hopefully someone is with them to walk across the street and pick that one up. Ball back in play. Free kick. Diaz a bit too physical for Duluth, so Minneapolis City.
What's been great, Eric? Game's been end-to-end.
It has
hasn't
certainly
been one-sided. Both teams have made mistakes. Both teams have capitalized on those. It's what you want to see out of a soccer Saturday.
Alabasi forward to Ba. Trying to find Hawkinson. He does. And Hawkinson, he's willing to shoot from anywhere. Blocked. Now resetting back to Kent. Now Garcia.
I like to see that the Crows defense is trying to look for those line-breaking passes into the midfield. It's been an area that they've been working on in training, and it's good to see that they're at least trying it, even though it might not be 100% successful.
Edor. Ooh, Koacek losing control of it. Throw in for Minneapolis City.
It's like he forgot something there, right?
Dropped his wallet. As you noted earlier, Duluth's ability to turn defense into offense on a dime is actually fairly impressive to watch.
It is.
I've seen it a few times, and as Crows fans, you would say, thankfully, they really haven't put it all together in the attacking third now as Fortune. And it should be a whistle there as Abasi just throws his body in the way. And
when you were not with us for the Sioux Falls game, we talked a lot about those silly fouls in deep lying positions. That is another one of those. You don't need to foul there, specifically when it's a 2-on-1 and you have the end line and the touch line to be additional defenders. It now just creates another scoring opportunity, and we saw Diaz go completely unmarked, and they're dangerous on these.
it's Junior for Duluth lobbying with the ref in terms of where he can take this free kick.
sometimes those 6 or 7 inches make a big difference.
Make a huge difference. Junior into the box.
See, look.
Low and cleared out by Alabasi. Now forward for Hawkinson. He actually, now Ba, if he can find Whitney Brown, who was turned around and not ready to make that run.
So now is when the Crows need to get their shape back. They were
Yes.
severely disjointed there. Bad pass, forget about it, get your shape back, and make sure that they can't counter on it quickly.
Diaz in the middle. Now forward, Brooks Rice putting the wheels on and getting there first. Unable to keep it from crossing the end line. Goal kick, Minneapolis City. So one thing Minneapolis City has struggled with thus far is you're watching, it's a 2-3 pass operation. In that particular case, it was Proctor, then Diaz has it, forward to Rice, they're off to the races. Very aggressive movements, quick movements, and decisive ones from Duluth right now. None of it has resulted in a goal as we remain scoreless here. 22nd minute.
The difference you're seeing with this Duluth team versus the Duluth teams of the past is that ball into the middle and trying to break it down quickly and then finding maybe a ball on the ground. It was non-existent a few years ago. A lot of their play was lumping up the top to our good friend Kyle Farrar.
Kyle Farrar, yes.
And chasing in the second ball after him. But now this Duluth team has the ability to really put the ball down on the ground and play. And like I said, they just get into the attack. They're relentless about that. Ooh,
and not to make this Duluth fan line, one thing that's impressive as well is incarnations of Duluth team in the past, they were physical and they were fouling. This team much better at using their physicality in certain ways, but not resulting in fouls and free opportunities for the adversary. But Hawkinson, all alone, trying to find Brown. Now 1v1, Proctor on him. Now back to Hawkinson.
Oh, he got tripped up.
And it was just a half foot behind him and forced him to adjust. He hit the turf.
The Crows midfield is completely stretched right now.
And now they're on the run. Westfield with a mile of space. Now to Junior. It's Fortune on the near side, but he'll take the left foot from distance, and it'll be wide. Goal kick, Minneapolis City.
I'm going to tell you this now, Eric. If anyone can get that diagonal ball to Abdallah Ba, they will score a goal.
Abdallah Ba is with the header there now, but they just are not paying attention to him. And Minneapolis City not making them pay for that. Throw in for Duluth here. Jake Starling near side.
Part of it, too, honestly, could be that he's not calling for it. So when you got all this chaos going on and you have the ball at your foot, your guys breathing down your neck, if no one's shouting that they're open, then what do you expect? You're not going to get the ball.
It's a very good point. It's all Ba's fault. I agree. Stiegwart. There's Kidd. Moving inside.
He's open again.
Tried to find Abdallah Ba, just not enough pace on it. Starling steps in. Now Fortune will reset it as Sullivan Lauderdale, number 30.
Made a good save, even though that call was offside. Nice strong arm getting down.
He did indeed early on. Westfield, is he onside? The flag is up. Wouldn't have mattered as Elder cleaned up the garbage.
23 minutes in, Eric. 24 now. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yeah. What are you thinking? What needs to happen to change this game for either team?
Well, I'm thinking that they need to stress this three-man back line with diagonal efforts. And what we're seeing right now, specifically with Hawkinson, and maybe we can talk about it and I'll get your opinion more at half, but we are not crisp. And I like to say we, by the way. Minneapolis City, I feel like I'm part of the team. I feel like I'm on the field, really.
You're both.
We are not crisp in the attacking third right now.
Absolutely not. I would completely agree with you. But the thing is we've talked about it almost every game. it's good to see that those runs and the plays are matriculating. We're just not executing, but we're getting to the middle of our season. It's kind of difficult to say that, right?
Yes.
Surprising to say that. But
now Alabasi is moving forward here, and Starling moves in.
We need to move from the it's nice that it's happening to it's got to happen. It's got to materialize into goals.
The one thing I'm seeing as well is we're getting a little bit cute with our passing at times. And that's the thing that I do want to see improve, and that's not a function of early season, mid-season, late season. I just think what you're seeing right now, whether we're trying to backheel things, we're trying to be a bit flashier, or just we're being too cute in various stages of that, so I want to see that get better. Otherwise, this is what I expected. I expected two teams that haven't been dealt a loss, two talented squads, two teams that were in the playoffs a year ago.
Slugging it out.
And it's a bit of a slog. It's not the most high-flying thing we've ever seen. However, it's going to be big moment, second half, potential game-changing situation. Ball did travel over the end line. It'll be a goal kick.
I think the assistant ref and the center ref are in between whether it was an offside or if it was a goal kick, but it happened in the same spot, so it really doesn't matter. You're
not supposed to throw me curveballs and ask my opinion on things. It's not how this relationship is supposed to work.
I'm sorry. I'm still pretending to be you.
27th minute at Edor Nelson Field. Scoreless. Diaz. Now Kent. Kid trouble controlling, and it'll be a throw-in for Duluth. Nice job by Edor. Body now Kid. Now Proctor. Cool vibe, cool crowd at Edor Nelson tonight. And it's a perfect Saturday evening for NPSL soccer here in the grounds of Augsburg.
Stand's starting to fill up.
Fortune, there's Junior. 2 goals in the season for Junior. Now Westfield. Cleared out by Garcia. It's a foot race. Starling wins.
Hawkinson's wide open.
Now Ba with a mile of space. He does find him.
Finally, Ba gets the ball out there.
It's Starling right there.
Oh, good help
nice
defense.
Job tracking back by Fortune.
He made up for his mistake.
You mentioned him not tracking
good
back
step by
early,
Aaron Olsen.
Now Olsen in the mix here. And that's Koacek, who now hits the turf. No whistle. We're still playing here. And he'll center it. It's Abdallah Ba, but Starling puts a head on it. Now Whitney Brown. Can he make the turn? The flick.
Ooh. The toe poke.
Lauderdale not quick enough, but it wasn't on frame.
He had Lauderdale frozen there if he could have just gotten on the right part of the toe.
Nice moments there. You had Abdallah Ba with space. We like that. Then you had Olsen stepping up. And then ultimately, Whitney Brown, and a very, very nice opportunity for the Crows. To no avail. Hopefully a confidence builder for the home team.
Westfield does a really good job of tracking back and trying to find the ball. He's not getting a ton of service, but he's making his own opportunities.
Appeared as though Ba was looking for Hawkinson, but Hawkinson let it go. Now Hawkinson chasing Edor.
Good job by Edor to get.
It's Koacek. Kid just barrels over him. Free kick.
Edor got himself out of a lot of trouble there. Quick ball in by Duluth.
Now Junior. Closed in on by Stiegwart. 30th minute.
Good bounce of possession here for the Crows. Will Kidd's making a very great diagonal run, but I don't think Alabasi saw it.
Now Brown for Ba. He's trying to control it. Now Alabasi with the right foot.
Oh, off the cross.
Post.
Oh, no.
And just over.
Fantastic strike by Alabasi.
What a moment for Minneapolis City.
And it just hits Will Kidd, not expecting it to come off the crossbar there. Wow.
Will Kidd inadvertently almost opening up the scoring after Alabasi, tremendous right foot, just off the post.
Eric, that was a product of Fortune not tracking back and us switching the field here. If he's going to continue to stay on the field, Minneapolis City absolutely has to expose it until it doesn't work anymore. Good win by Aaron Olson.
Another offside, by the way. The flag was up. It appears Alabasi was offside.
How was that possible? He hit it through traffic. But whatever. Didn't go in, so we don't have to complain about it.
Stigward hip checking Junior. Now Ba.
See if we can find Hawkinson's making a great.
Now Hawkinson making that diagonal run.
Oh, unlucky by Ba.
Poor touch from Ba. Now Fortune heading the other way with it. Too far for Koacek.
Good work by Max Kent.
Nice job keeping it in, staying composed. Hawkinson nearly boots Barberio in the head.
Good tackle.
Now the relentless number 6, Dorian Barberio. Here's Will Kidd. Just an incredibly nice job. We've seen it through 33 minutes and change here. It's Alberto Diaz. It's Starling. It's Koacek, Edor. These guys are so good at closing down lanes for Minneapolis City. Now Westfield, the jersey pull from Stigward. Does not appear that there will be a yellow card issued.
It was an unnecessary.
Couldn't have been more obvious and intentional.
I mean, it was a tactical foul, but it was absolutely unnecessary. He had the help defense there. You'd like to see one of the back line members of the Crows step into that and then not have to have him do that. It's just another silly foul that we talked about.
So a free kick from roughly 29-ish yards out. It'll be both, it appears to be Westfield and Junior, number 8.
Maybe something fancy out of the training ground here.
Just a couple of kids playing a game. The left foot on frame almost, just over the crossbar. Not a bad effort for 29-ish yards. We'll round up to 30. A goal kick, Minneapolis City, 35th minute here at Edor Nelson.
Do we mention it's a beautiful night for soccer yet?
Yeah, that was in my notes. Let me see here. Okay, beautiful night, 71 degrees, cloudless. Yeah, we got that in. Free kick, Minneapolis City SC.
one thing we haven't talked about was the refereeing today, Eric. It's been good so far. It's been consistent. He's let the guys play.
The key for me is the offside flags are coming up on both sides. Now Hawkinson, player to watch. Here's Alabasi, extending the elbow.
I'll be honest with
Junior.
you, I don't know about that one.
I thought
that was good
Alabasi
defense.
may have been a bit out of control, but if you're Junior and you're extending that elbow and that arm out like he was pushing into Alabasi, you're the ref and you see that, it's going to be tough not to blow that whistle there.
We just talked about him letting us play, and then that happened.
And that happens, yes.
Curse of the commentator.
That's why it's best never, ever to mention referees. However, if you're a Crows fan, you're loving this right now.
I mean,
it's a dangerous opportunity.
Into the keeper, Lauderdale's looking into the sun.
23 yards out, sun splashing the face of Sullivan Lauderdale.
Right now, if Alabasi can make that run through and get Fortune to follow him, Kevin Hoof could slide in, but now Duluth just saw what I saw, and they're bringing back, looks like Kowacek or Rice.
It appears it'll be the right foot of Whitney Brown. Right foot through, and Lauderdale is right there for the save. Somehow getting through the wall. Not the most challenging shot ever taken.
On frame, though.
On frame.
Usually those hit, you know.
That's step one.
Yeah, step one. 9 times out of 10, they go into the parking lot. So good effort. Maybe you would have liked to see maybe a streaking runner in there that could have maybe latched on to the end of that. Maybe a deflection, maybe a spill by Lauderdale, get the rebound.
Final 8-9 minutes of the first half. You've watched Luke Hawkinson, the quote-unquote player to watch tonight for the Crows. Any big opinions on number 19 so far?
I think he's done great. He a couple times got a little tripped up in, you know, the ball kind of got caught in his feet one time, made a great run the other time, and he's dynamic. I mean, he finds pockets of space. Like right now, he's interchanging with Ba, and Ba's in.
The only question I have is, did Lauderdale use his hands and contact the ball outside of the 18-yard box? The assistant on the far side way out of position to even determine that. So play will resume here. No VAR in NPSL. Try to mention that once every game too.
At least not here.
There's Junior on the near side. Now Fortune takes over. To Westfield, back to Junior, trying to find room for his left foot. But here's Kowacek in the middle for Westfield. Elder falls on it. Fantastic passing for Duluth to set up that. Now here's Hawkinson.
See how Bossy can't get into the offense here.
Now Hawkinson forward. Good idea. Starling stepping in to get a foot on that. Now Kowacek the other way.
See, the initial point of the 50-yard line is where you want Alabasi to make that foul.
Here's Kowacek.
Good
nice
defense.
Job by Kevin Hoof. Saving the day, number 3.
Out here at the midfield line, no danger. 25 yards in, absolute danger. Luckily, it worked out for the Crows, but that's where you want that tactical foul to happen.
Here's Hawkinson.
Not a lot of friends making movement for him.
Bit of a vibe of both teams just wanting to get into half and reevaluate things here.
When you start to sleep and think like that, that's when you get caught.
Now Brown trying to find Ba. The only guy there is Edor. Diaz to Junior, back to Diaz.
Those guys are good.
Very calm approach in the midfield for Duluth. Now forward, here's Kowacek. Got Westfield right behind him if he can find him, and he does. Now Westfield, they're closing in, right foot. No chance.
Another ball into the park. As we mentioned earlier on, they take flyers from distance.
Ball kids earning their hot dog money tonight.
Elder taking his time here.
Now we do see Bob back on the near side here. There was about a 5-minute stretch where he was centralized, and it was Whitney on the boundary.
This is what you want. You want a guy that's quick-footed to draw Diaz out of his comfort zone there. And Whitney Brown's a good person who can definitely do that.
Now heading the other way.
Good tracking by two Crows.
With both Kidd and Olsen trying to get back there. It was Brooks Rice with the wheels on it. Now Junior in the middle. And it's Alabasi with a bit of a tug on the arm of Junior to slow him up, and the Crows will go the other way. Here's Hawkinson. Nobody home.
I don't mind that. That clears the lines, and it lets the Crows get their shape back. Duluth was absolutely suffocating any other option he had, so I'm not afraid of that right there.
Mr. Proctor to Starling. Now Junior. Hawkinson with his hands all over Barberio. Still scoreless.
When you pressure Diaz, that's what happens. So if you don't, he turns, he picks you apart. So I like to see the activity. When you're talking about what's Hawkinson doing, I absolutely think what he's doing is cutting off the head of the snake.
On the left side, he'll take the right foot. Now Bach, can he finish it? He cannot. Absolutely.
Corner.
Golden opportunity as the Crows win a corner. Stigwart forcing Lauderdale to make the save. Abdallah Ba, such a tough first touch in that situation. Ultimately, it does result in a corner. Wide open net all over the place for Mr. Ba if he just puts that thing on frame. Here's the corner kick.
I mean,
that's Stigwart with it.
That's a tough one. I mean, there was a hard hit ball by Stigwart. That thing came at Ba pretty quickly. Maybe he hit it first time.
I'm a bit surprised. Let's wait for this corner to play out. Now Stigwart into the mix. It's Kent with a head on it. He'll center it. Now Whitney Brown, and it's pushed off the line. Here's Alabasi. Back to Stigwart. Fortune with a fortuitous foot clearing out of the danger. Now Alabasi.
Good work by Zuhair.
Here's Hawkinson. Excuse me, Hoof with it now. It was a bit surprising to me with Whitney Brown offside as Stigwart was pushing forward that the back line continued just to sprint back and give Stigwart all that space. Nobody at any point stepped up to Max, and that nearly resulted in a goal from Minneapolis City. 44th minute here. Doesn't feel like there'll be an extensive amount of first half stoppage time. So 90 seconds-ish remaining here in the first half. And another turnover and some space for Westfield.
Good defense by the Crows.
It's Alabasi. Now Junior. Here's Barberio. Outside to Koacek. Excuse me, Edor.
Deflection.
Must have been a deflection. It will be a corner kick. Third time's the charm. That's Brooks Rice.
Still telling you, Eric, if that diagonal ball can actually become a thing.
Well, we saw what a turnover in the midfield means, and Stigwart was headed the right way in a hurry. Corner into the box. It's Fortune. Near it, just over his head, it's Kent. deflecting it the other way. Now Diaz, and again, it's Max Kent. That'll just be cleared out. Now Hawkinson puts the Jets on. It's Edor.
That's the type of thing that Luke gives you. He created a turnover out of nothing.
And now let's see what can happen. As it is indeed halftime, the whistle is blown. No stoppage time here in the first 45. Several opportunities for both visiting Duluth and your home Minneapolis City SC Crows. Nothing resulting in goals. A lot of offside flags raised in the air in the first 45.
Lots.
Your overlying thoughts before we take a quick break.
I think that the quality of chances goes in the Crows' favor, but the quantity of chances definitely goes in Duluth's favor.
Indeed. Both these teams without a loss thus far through 4 matches in 2019. The 2-0-2 Duluth FC Blue Greens looking for a victory on the road, and Minneapolis City SC at 4-0, trying to improve on an already impressive 2019 campaign. And here we are, it's Edor Nelson Field, second half action about to ensue. Crows with an opportunity to kickstart things, as they do. And it's Stigwork controlling, one substitution of note. Justin Oliver is in for Minneapolis City SC, replacing Will Kidd. Again, Oliver in for Kidd as Westfield, a one-man wrecking crew inside the box. Thankfully, for Crows fans at least, that to no avail.
Once again, that was Hawkinson putting in the defensive work. Duluth has started out fast.
Now it's Fortune, Barberio.
We might have had a change. Did Carlisle Jr. come off?
I believe that is Junior up top. Yes, it is.
Number two snuck in on us.
Number 2 is Julio Neto.
Julio Neto making his appearance today. It looks like maybe Kowacek is the one who made way.
I don't see Kowacek in the mix. So let's say that's what happened.
I can dig it. All of a sudden, the second half snuck up on us, Eric.
It was only a moment ago. I was on camera with my sunglasses on, pontificating into the great nothingness. Sullivan Lauderdale in net for the Blue Greens. Now Hawkinson trying to spin and turn. He will get the whistle.
It's good about individual play.
And that was a foul called on Carlisle Jr. No goals yet in this one. Several opportunities for both sides. Who will break the scoreless dead heat? Justin Oliver. I don't know where the boundary is, my man. It'll be a throw-in for Duluth.
Good step by Hawkinson.
Now Hawkinson controlling. Calming things down. He'll flick it into the center for Abdallah Ba just over his head. As you see Neto chasing it. He'll allow it harmlessly over the end line for a goal kick.
Somebody played a diagonal ball to Abdallah Ba.
You ask and you have received. Just failing to connect inside the 6 there. Hawkinson certainly asserting himself early in the second frame now. Here's Oliver.
Good step by Alabasi.
That's Starling, Jake Starling on the far side. Now Westfield with space. Neto on the outside. Alabasi shoulder to shoulder with him. The battle. Neto winning, but it's Max Kent there to help clean it up. Alabasi clearing.
Speaking of battles, that was a good one.
And now it's Hawkinson. Ba with space.
Smart.
Stigwart. Fancy footwork from the ref. Now Hawkinson. Nice job by George Proctor, number 4 for Duluth.
Hawkinson's starting to feel a little bit, Eric, on the
Stepping
offensive
in.
side.
The quality of touches, the playmaking ability from Hawkinson starting to show its face in a big way here in the second half. Now Oliver to Hawkinson. Now to Whitney Brown with the right foot. The rebound by Oliver. Cleaned up by Lauderdale. The pressure is on Minneapolis City, putting it on Duluth as we enter the 50th minute. The sun setting on Minneapolis, and this one at Edor Nelson. Certainly Matt Elder in net prefers not having sun directly in his face. Edor, now Proctor.
It's a little too easy.
Barberio, plenty of space in the midfield for Duluth to operate. Now Westfield, oof, unable to control. Now too much for Alabasi. Fortune, it appears they've kind of moved him more into a centralized role. To Rice on the outside. Centered off of Garcia. Duluth players clamoring for some sort of handball related call. The ref shaking that one off. Now Stigwart. Smooth operating back to Elder.
Lots of space for Alabasi. Let's see if the forwards can make a good run in for him.
Now Hawkinson smartly allowing it to turn. He'll get it forward to Oliver. Hawkinson with a run and a mile of space if Oliver can get it there. But he has space of his own. Now to Whitney Brown. The right foot!
Oh, off the post.
Oh my goodness! Just off the woodwork. What an opportunity and a turn by Brown.
Good hustle by Hoof.
Hoof muscling his way through Fortune. Looks like Fortune may have caught an elbow for his effort.
The important thing is for the Crows not to let Duluth get out of this, and they have.
Now Diaz. Cool customer in the middle. Diaz has provided such a calming influence for Duluth in the middle of that field all night. But what we noticed in these last couple of interactions for Minneapolis City is it's difficult to play that well and to close down your opponent like that all night as things are opening up really for both teams.
Good ball outside by Westfield.
And it's Neto. Nobody home for his pass.
Ooh, high boot.
No call given. Stigwart controls. Now to Oliver. And he's just going to try and outrun a guy, but Edor. Now Hawkinson. Oliver inside, still controlling. Appears that his left foot may not work tonight. Now Whitney Brown. Closing in, Olsen. Nice shot by Fortune, creating pressure. But Alabasi still controls. To no avail.
One thing that was the difference in the first half versus the second half here, from an out-wide perspective, Will Kidd was kind of, he just didn't have that Will Kidd spark today. but Oliver's come in and provided that.
He certainly has. And Oliver, it wasn't a situation where we were picking on him, but you remember a couple of weeks ago here against Sioux Falls, he did have some issues in the control element, and first touches were a problem, but tonight I think Oliver has definitely provided a jump to the Crows.
You'd like to see him maybe take a flyer with his left foot. He's getting in that space, but he's choosing to cut back on his right foot. So he's done that twice now, and that's something that Duluth is going to expect. So you need to see him take a rip with his left foot.
Absolutely. And he'll certainly have more opportunities here in the second half. It's Diaz creating the turnover. Now Junior Diaz may have a chance to shoot here, and he moves through. They will not call a foul there despite the contact in the box.
He went to ground pretty easy there for as big of a body as he is. Good work by Hawkinson.
Oh, now Hawkinson is just, now we're getting physical.
You think that's a yellow card?
And let's see how the referee handles it. It was Barberio and Hawkinson locked up in each other.
There was obvious.
And they will get the free call for Minneapolis City, which is the right call. It was Barberio who established, or I should say initiated, that first illegal contact there with the jersey grabbing. Hawkinson did not appear happy about it.
The referee needs to go to the book there because that was an obvious opportunity for the Crows to get in the attack, even though it was on the defensive side of the field, but still.
Well, if anything, if you're just trying to establish what you're going to allow and not going to allow in a game, you got to hand out a card to somebody.
Right.
Otherwise, that interaction is going to happen again. So we shall see. Free kick for Minneapolis City, as you mentioned, having to restart, although they were in certainly a counterattack mode. Nice job by Oliver on the boundary, keeping it in. Now here's Hoof. Now to Hawkinson with a stretched jersey and all. Man-to-man on Diaz.
Ooh.
And that this time, free kick in favor of Duluth. Felt like that was coming.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
It's getting chippy out there.
Early free kick here again.
Both teams want to win this game.
Good bit of skill by Neto.
Now Diaz. Alabasi. Now Brown. He'll make the turn. Hawkinson's got to move.
Good ball.
Now Baugh. Here's Baugh. Diaz easily stepping in and clearing that. Clear elbow by Garcia. The game continues. Here's Oliver. Now Hawkinson. Oliver with the right foot. The shot and a goal!
Oliver!
And Justin Oliver will break the scoreless tie. The second half substitution, Will Kidd didn't necessarily have the Will Kidd spark. Justin Oliver not happy with his left foot, but on the right foot, it is gold. And it is 1-0 Minneapolis City. Nobody's happier than John Bisworm right now. Let's go. Yes.
That was a great finish by Oliver. I mean, to get the initial angle on the shot, he couldn't find it. Took the extra touch, tucked it home, and we've been a little down on Oliver lately. That final execution piece hasn't been going his way. You look for this to maybe be what shifts the tide and opens up his account.
Very impressive effort thus far in roughly 22 minutes of work, or excuse me, about 12 minutes of work, as it was a 56th minute goal for Justin Oliver. And as you mentioned it, I mentioned it several minutes ago as well, it was the first touch by Oliver a couple weeks ago that put him into reserve mode.
Yeah, let him down. I think he was just trying too hard, Eric.
And sometimes you can be forcing the issue and it can go against you. But he has been the absolute energy boost that the Crows needed into the second frame here. And he's your goal scorer, 56th minute. Justin Oliver. It is 1-0 Minneapolis City. This is indeed a dangerous opportunity here, though, for Duluth.
And immediately after that goal, Coach Pearson for Duluth gets 3 players up off of his bench.
It'll be Carlisle Jr., the left foot. How does he play it? Effort on net, and again, perfect positioning by the veteran, Matt Elder.
Yeah, that one didn't try him at all.
Not a bead of sweat on the brow of the Crows goalkeeper. Cleared by Kent. And here's Ba. A little heavy with the chest. Brooks Rice fighting for it, winning the ball. Not enough room on the boundary. Throw in for Minneapolis City.
First touch.
Now it's Hawkinson. Good idea heading for Ba. Ba just not enough time. Now Hoof.
That's a push.
That is indeed a push. Push that will not be called.
Good tackle by Hoof.
Now the goal scorer, Oliver. Starling on him. Now finding Hawkinson. The right foot from distance.
Oh.
Lauderdale, it may have been wide of frame. Lauderdale getting a hand on it to be sure, and it will be a corner kick.
If there's one person
Minneapolis
who
City.
woke up at halftime, it was Luke Hawkinson.
Was he waking up as we enter the 61st minute, or was it more or less things that didn't click just by the law of eventually it's got to work, started working? Because we saw a guy as just a two-way effort player in the first half. That was all there. But the connectivity piece, as we're seeing now, Stigward into the box. Nobody home there. Now Ba trying to turn, gets a right foot on it.
I think the one thing that's opening up space for him is the fact that I think Diaz is getting tired tracking him. So he's finding a little bit more.
Lauderdale going head-to-head with Hoof, and he does win it, getting a palm on the ball. Now it'll be a throw-in, and you saw Diaz, Alberto Diaz, in the middle, just telling his guys, hey, let's calm down a little bit. There's a bit of a desperate nature to their play right now, when we know how hard goals are to come by with these two teams in the mix this evening. But all the same, still plenty of time left for Duluth before things getting too chippy, too frenetic, too frantic for the visitors.
Siku Chroma making his appearance today for Abdallah Ba. What do you think of Ba today?
The one thing about Ba, first of all, Ba should have brought as big a novel as he has in his reading arsenal in the first half for the fact that he was wide open as often as he was. I thought Ba overall made some nice runs. Was a bit disappointed with his touch, specifically in the box. There were opportunities that I didn't think he was able to capitalize on. But when things were working and clicking with Brown up top, I thought he was an important part of the puzzle, making those runs and really putting stress in this three-man back line. And speaking of guys on the backside that are open, here's Brooks Rice. Things calming down.
Oliver was shouting for someone to track back for him there because he couldn't quite get back, and you saw the result of that was Brooks Rice getting into position.
Nice job by Edor. Number 18, not a bad player for Duluth at all.
He's a good wing back. Specifically when you're playing in this three-back system, he gets forward, but he absolutely has the engine to get back.
But that pass right there, that example, that was way too far for Junior to catch up to. That's an example of a team that's playing instantly desperate and shocked to be at a 1-0 deficit. Now Diaz fakes the left foot. Now it's Westfield outside to Neto. Neto will distribute. Junior's the closest, but Stigward gets a foot on it. Now Chroma.
Good work by Chroma.
Chroma with the wheels.
Smart.
He'll slow it down, and now Alabasi. 64th minute. Absolutely blown up with the shoulder. James Westfield. Will be just a throw in though.
Good first touch by Hawkinson. And a great ball into Whitney Brown. It's a handball.
The flag is not up at this point as Brown controls. He needs to wait for his friends. Now looking for Chroma. Nice job by Proctor. Messing up timing there, but now back to Hawkinson. Now Hawkinson forward for Oliver.
Smart play.
And he'll win another corner. Out of space, out of options.
The Crows' high line of pressure is causing fits for Duluth right now.
And again, it just felt like as good as Duluth had been at clogging up the midfield, their recovery on counters, all of that, it had to be perfect for 90 minutes. It was great for the first half, and now we're seeing some cracks in that wall, and it's opened up things now here as it will be Oliver into the middle. Oh, and Max Kent streaking in with a heading opportunity just by his head. Alabasi, left footer. Way over. It'll be a goal kick for Minneapolis, or excuse me, for Duluth. And it'll be Carlisle Jr. exiting.
For number 21, Lucas Jacobs. Jacobs is an active forward, Eric. He's one of those guys who's going to chase down everything. He's got some decent size. You'd like to see a little bit more from him on his first touch, but if he doesn't have a successful first touch, he absolutely fights hard to get it back.
Jacobs in the mix.
It's like Van Benscoten's got Charlie Adams up, warming up.
It is indeed Adams on the far side there. The only member of Minneapolis City at this stage warming up. Is that a Kevin Hoof substitution? Where is he headed?
You know, I don't know. That's a great question.
He does have the ability, of course, to play either in an Aaron Olsen spot or Alabasi spot as well.
I think what you might see is a.
Well, we might see James Westfield trying to find. Now Fortune. Flicking for Westfield, close to net, and it is indeed the equalizer. As the combination of numbers, misdirection, Fortune to James Westfield. The flag is down and the score is tied in the 67th minute, James Westfield.
I think that goal was definitely a result of the fact that, you know, Westfield's very active and so is Jacobs. Jacobs comes on, causes some disruption. Westfield sneaks in, and you would have thought that the Crows, they had enough bodies back, but to no avail, 1-1.
Impressive moment on the counterattack by Duluth. Westfield's third goal of the 2019 season. And overall, an impressive response by the visiting Duluth Blue Greens. Now Olsen to Hoof. Stepping in on Fortune. By Fortune on Oliver. Appeared to be a blatant foot on an ankle. Now there's Lucas Jacobs.
Once again, he's very active.
Fortune committing the foul there.
Chroma's wide open.
Interlocking his legs with Kevin Hoof, and as you mentioned, Chroma as wide open as Ba was in the first half. Now it's Chroma. 69th minute, 1-1 the score. Now Fortune.
Good bit of
pushing
individual
through.
skill.
Now he'll center it. It's Starling on the outside. Excuse me, Rice. That one's in the parking lot.
To answer your question about where Adams might fit in, I think maybe it could be a Stigord substitution. He hasn't looked very active in there. I mean, he has had the ball a lot, but he's been kind of shying away from some tackles. Maybe it's a result of that knee injury that he picked up a few weeks ago. But you need another energy guy in there that can control the ball, and that's exactly what Adams is. And he's going to get stuck in on tackles.
Charlie Adams now making his way to the fourth official. And that certainly presents an intriguing option there if it would be a Stigwart-related substitution, as we see Stigwart shying away from physical contact with Jacobs, who wins the header. Now it's Westfield heading the other way.
You gotta be better there from Chroma.
As we enter the 70th minute, this game starting to have one of those next goal wins types of vibes. Right now, Duluth trying to see if it'll be them. Here's Neto on the outside. Long entry into the box. Jacobs there, but Elders first. Quick restart to Oliver. Let's see if he can get the wheels on. Nice step in by Edor, and Brooks Rice now heading the other way. Now forward for Jacobs.
Good disruption by Huff.
Now it's Oliver. Brown on the boundary. Nice job by Edor slowing things down. Here's Hawkinson. Much better job right now of Duluth in their own third, keeping the Crows at bay. Now Stigwart. Fortune stepping in. Here's Jacobs.
Jacobs has done a lot since he's come on. It was a good substitution by Duluth. Good first touch by Max Kent.
Alabasi. Now another turnover in midfield. Jacobs. Now to Rice. Rice with a goal on Wednesday for Duluth. Now Barberio.
Good step by
The
Max
volley from distance, but it is Kent putting his frame in front of it. Throw in for Duluth.
It's like Hoof is making way.
Still waiting to see, so it will be Hoof for Adams.
Tim Wills is also warming up on the Crows bench.
And it'll be Fortune. Fortune heading to the bench. In favor of Soam Kithuria, number 13. Number 13 replacing 31. That makes it easy for those that are dyslexic in the viewing audience. So Kevin Hoof gives way to the guy that typically starts in that spot, Charlie Adams.
I thought Kevin Hoof did a very good job today. Couple passes were a little errant, but by and large, I feel like he did a very good job of disrupting play.
The corner inside, a ton of traffic. Crows players furious. They believe that it went off a Duluth player last.
I mean, I tend to agree with them on that one, but we'll reload it here.
And we'll try again. Crowded 18-yard box. Now the service. Salabasi. Now the flick by Stigwart. It'll be a quick throw in. Brooks Rice into Starling. Now Neto. Here's Rice with the left foot, and it's Elder. Westfield there, just in case the veteran Crows keeper made a mistake, but he did not. And here we are headed the other way.
Good ball back.
Switching fields. Just a glancing header by Starling, and it goes out. It'll be a corner.
See,
for Minneapolis City.
The important thing about trying that diagonal ball is what you just saw there. every now and then it works. And
Put stress on the
it
action.
puts stress on the action, absolutely.
Will either be Oliver or Stiegward taking the corner here. Appears to be Hawkinson, also near the boundary. Whistle blown, may have gotten things started too quickly. 74th minute. 1-1. Justin Oliver, the 56th-minute goal scorer for the Crows. Then it was James Westfield, just 11 minutes later to even things up. Now Whitney Brown on the ground, trying to wield his way through traffic. Here's Catheria.
Good recovery by Max Kent.
There's 15 minutes remaining, plus any stoppage time. Pretty clean game thus far. Edor stepping in on the Adams pass. Catheria, Barberio, now Adams. Taking over for the Crows. Here's Olsen. Forward for Chroma. Nice job tracking his Proctor. He'll head that out of bounds. Throw in for Minneapolis City. Neither team has a loss this year. Neither team feeling satisfied with just 1 point, however. For now, it's the Crows. Now to Chroma. There's Oliver trying to get through two different Duluth defenders. It's Neto trying to clear it out to no avail. Now Stiegward from distance. Ooh, he was thinking of that right foot. Now here's Whitney Brown with the right foot.
Ooh.
Just wide.
Just didn't catch it. Calling for the deflection.
I did not see a deflection on that.
I did not either.
The Crows fans are saying, we'll take the corner, boys. It's the way she goes, boys. 77th minute. A lofty Starling over the back of Max Kent. Typically, they aren't going to call that inside the 18. Now it's Garcia. Back and forth with Hawkinson. Now the flick, and it'll be over the head of everybody. That'll be a goal kick, and tragedy averted for Duluth. Another substitution coming for Duluth.
Like Barbiero's day is done.
Barberio leaving the field. Busy evening for him. That appears to be Roberto Hernandez. Roberto Hernandez into the mix. Replacement of Mr. Barberio. Now Neto on the run. Alabasi. Great placement. Hernandez, the fresh sub, getting his first touch. Now it's Westfield. Can he keep it in? He cannot.
All he got was the old thigh strawberry out of that
A little
one.
bit of a turf burn. Badge of honor for Mr. Westfield. The lone goal scorer for Duluth tonight. His third goal on the season.
You have a straight swap. Mark Haight on for
Alabasi.
Alabasi. Straight swap.
So Haight now in the mix. Mark Haight. Now here's Chroma. Now for Brown, and Chroma just splitting the center of the field. Now here's Hawkinson. over the head of Chroma, trying to find Oliver potentially. Now Adams jostling for position. The right foot over the head of Lauderdale and just off frame. It'll be a goal kick for Duluth. You see Hernandez exchanging pleasantries with the ref. He feels there may have been a foul on potentially either Stigwart or Adams there. Charlie Adams never backing down from an opportunity at a physical confrontation. And James Westfield, by the way, now leaving the field. That appears to be number 32, Lucas Mustajo in for Westfield, replacing the goal scorer. Mustajo getting his warm-up run in right away. Garcia clearing the ball out to safety. Quick throw in now for Duluth. 80th minute. Just 10 minutes and change left in this one here, 1-1. The next goal very much feels like the deciding one. Diaz and Chroma. Diaz too much.
Big body.
Now big brother, little brother taking place as Diaz works his way to winning a corner for Duluth. And again, that calming, cool influence that he's played for Duluth all night long. Very impressive effort by number 5.
I mean, Westfield scored the goal, yes, but you think that the best player on the field for Duluth has been
I think it's been Alberto Diaz. Now let's see how the Crows defend this corner. Late stages, got to be good. And the header with pace.
Duluth is good on set pieces. Got, like we talked about, they have a lot of big bodies they can throw up there, but they tend to get on the end of it.
In that particular case, that was Mustajo getting his head on it. Long ball trying for Brown. Here's Haight. Now Stigwart. Edor, solid shift for him in the blue-greens. He gets a head on it. Now Adams just trying to find somebody in a white shirt. That it's Catheria. Now Adams back in the mix. Not to be outdone.
That was an absolute vital tackle for Max Kent.
Hawkinson battling, Hawkinson winning. Hawkinson leaving the ball behind.
Handball.
And we'll see a free kick for Duluth. May have been a handball there by number 19. 82nd minute. Still 1-1. Tension building among the Crows faithful here at Edor Nelson Field. Home of the Augies and home of your Crows. Minneapolis City looking for their 5th consecutive victory to start the 2019 season. As of now, they would have to settle for just 1 point. Still remaining atop the NPSL North Conference standings.
It's like Wills is coming on.
Tim Wills indeed about to enter for Minneapolis City. He'll have to wait at least until one more stoppage as Elder puts it in play. Now it's Olsen. So much traffic in the midfield from Duluth, making it so difficult. Now Olsen winning the 1v1, well done. But then trying to find Brown, just too far for anybody. And it'll be Lauderdale with the quick throw to Hernandez. Now Neto, haven't said his name in a while.
Good win by Max Kent.
Every win on the back line at this stage of the equation as imperative as ever for Minneapolis City. Now Hernandez, there's Catheria. Now Mustajo. Now centering for Jacobs.
saying that's Jacobs got there first.
It'll be a throw-in for Duluth, way down there in the corner.
Hey, we got offside.
Flag is up, free kick, Minneapolis City. It looks like we have a couple of substitutions about to enter the fray.
It's like Chroma is coming off for
Well, this is interesting here.
Wills.
So it's Martin Brown.
Coming on the field for Minneapolis City in the 85th minute, number 8, Tim Wills.
So I'm curious as to, you bring in Chroma as a substitute, and then you decide to mix him so quickly. That's an interesting thing there.
I think we're talking about a tactical substitution. I think we're looking at, we add another center midfielder on, and you add in a possession-based attacker like Tim Wills.
I did not see Chroma as providing any significant gaffe or error during his shift. So, and he didn't look like he was injured. So I think you're probably accurate. Now Jacobs with a clear shove on Haight. Free kick from Minneapolis City. 85th minute. Getting down to the nitty-gritty for Minneapolis City and Duluth. Locked up at 1. A handful of minutes in stoppage time left for either one of these teams to provide game-winning magic for their team. Martin Brown in for Stigward. Now Diaz. It's odd man. And now Jacobs trying to find the left foot, and it is off the post. Are they calling the goal? They are calling it the go-ahead goal for Duluth. And it is Lucas Jacobs. Lucas Jacobs in the 86th minute, putting Duluth on top of Minneapolis City.
It all started from a breakdown centrally, Eric. You get the opportunity for a simple, just keep of possession pass. Martin Brown gets stripped. They come down, end up getting the goal. It was a nice finish by Jacobs. He's been active since he's come on. And, the fruits of his labor. He ends up getting the go-ahead goal.
In both goals tonight, as despite a fantastic evening and just fantastic effort, suddenly Alberto Diaz can no longer stand up. Feels about right as we enter the 87th minute. Lucas Jacobs, the goal for Duluth, putting them in front here. Not a lot of time left for the Crows to even this thing up. We've seen it on both those goals tonight, John. They had, in that case, it was odd numbers. I mean, you had Diaz, you had Jacobs in the mix.
Right.
Running directly in channels at the Crows, they struggled with that.
Yeah.
Crows fans certainly disappointed.
I mean, that was just like I said, it was a breakdown in the midfield, and it was something that we can absolutely stop.
Well, now Minneapolis City not trying to waste any time to maybe get back on the score sheet themselves. Now Brown, Hawkinson thinking about it, but he'll settle for moving it outside to Olsen. Here's Martin Brown. Nobody home in the middle for Brown's pass. Jacobs winning the header. City will have to regroup.
As if Duluth's really throwing everybody behind the ball.
Entering the 89th minute, feels like it's about time to park the bus if you're Duluth on the road. Trying to come away with 3 points. Now it's Brooks Rice with the wheels, and he's almost through, and it's Olsen that has to step in.
Good ball.
Now Oliver, the lone goal scorer for Minneapolis City. That's Hernandez stepping in on Hawkinson. And now space. Here's Hernandez.
Good step.
Charlie Adams. Not a lot of time left in this one. Just about to enter the 90th minute of regulation here. Nobody home for Oliver's pass. We'll see how much stoppage time is awarded. Now Oliver with some space here, looking for that right foot. Now he centers it. Right spot, right time defensively for Duluth. Edor to Rice. Now back in the hands of Garcia in Minneapolis City. Very much short on time.
You just start throwing some bodies in, Eric.
Need a tally to come out of here with a point this evening. Miscommunication and the giveaway that leads to the goal kick. Precious seconds continuing to tick off the clock. And of course, there we go. It was Diaz earlier.
Oh, man.
And this is one of the most predictable things in my favorite sport. Is the time wasting. Oh, there we go. Back in the mix.
That should be a caution
Proctor.
for time wasting, right, Eric? I mean, he goes down and then he pops right back up again with vigor.
Oh, you just needed to stretch it out. Understandable.
So you hope that the referee is accounting for that and add some time on.
Now Rice. We are officially into stoppage time here, about 40 seconds into stoppage time. We are not provided with the exact number. Feels like 3 to 4 minutes. Now inside, it's Tim Wills battling with a couple of guys that are both 5 inches taller than he is. Now Whitney Brown with the right foot, saved by Lauderdale. And all Whitney Brown needs is a sliver of daylight, and he'll take shots like that. Lauderdale able to get down and rake it in. Now the boot. We're into the second minute of stoppage time now. Another MPSL North action. Med City.
Oh, bad giveaway.
With a 3-1 victory tonight here in the Metro against the Twin Stars, which would put them at 13 points and actually would take over the top spot in the North Division if Minneapolis City are unable to tie this thing up, as we are now about 2 full minutes into stoppage time. Free kick for Duluth. Again, Med City beat the Twin Stars 3-1, and so Med City will be on top of the North Conference table if all results hold here tonight. Now restarting is Proctor. Looks like whatever ailment he had earlier seems to be by him, thank goodness.
Duluth will take their time here.
No problems. Neto. He'll take the throw in right into the corner. Poor first touch by Catheria. And if you think there's anything left in the tank here for Minneapolis City, this has got to be the run right here, as Haight is moving up the sideline on Neto.
I thought Jacobs came from offside position there to receive that pass.
Now entering nearly the 4th minute. We've had 3 full minutes of stoppage time here. We'll see how much longer.
And that's
And
it.
that is it.
And Duluth comes into Minneapolis City, and they end the unbeaten streak, Eric, at 19 games in league play.
A total of 19 games Minneapolis City have played consecutively without losing. This is the first loss since the back end of the 2017 NPSL season.
Correct.
After a 10-0-4 stretch in 2018, and then 4 straight victories to start 2019. They fall this evening at Edor Nelson Field, home turf, to the visiting Duluth Blue-Greens. 2-1 the final score. It was indeed Lucas Jacobs with the late second half substitution, with the late tally and the game winner. And it was James Westfield in the 67th minute tying it up. Of course, Justin Oliver. Nice to see him get on the score sheet to open scoring after a 0-0 first half. 56th minute, he put the Crows up 1-0. Very disappointing way to end a very evenly handed match between Duluth and Minneapolis City. Your final thoughts on this one?
I think we talked about the keys to victory being that two-way game, right? And when we make a substitution, making sure that substitute is locked in to what they need to do to contribute to the game. I thought that we gave that ball away in a spot where we had possession, and we could have continued to keep possession, and that led to the eventual game winner. I think outside of that, you have to think that the Crows had the lion's share of the quality chances, hitting the post a few times. You had a couple opportunities where Lauderdale was forced into action. But, I mean, by and large, this is a great Duluth team, and they came in and they did their job, and they picked up the difficult 3 points on the road.
So the next actual NPSL North Conference game, not for a couple of weeks. That'll be June 15th in La Crosse.
Correct.
What's happening next weekend, though, with the squad in town? I believe the Wanderers. Is that accurate?
Yes,
So what's going on with Des Moines in the mix?
Des Moines is a UPSL side. They're coming in for a non-conference game. Had a stretch of games where a stretch where we didn't have games, so bringing in a team to keep things fresh for the team. But you know, the Crows end their 19-game regular season unbeaten streak. It's not all for naught. The opportunity to learn from this, to see what we need to work on, is absolutely there, and it keeps them. They're still in the race for a playoff spot early on, but obviously you like to see the winning ways continue. But can't win every time.
Most certainly, Minneapolis City now, given these results, will fall to second in the North Conference with 12 points. And vaulting ahead of them again, Med City beating the Twin Stars earlier. It looks like a final score of 3-1. Our crack research team will verify that for me and speak to me in my ear if that's inaccurate. But ultimately, whether it's Des Moines next weekend, it's in La Crosse a couple weeks from now, here's what you have to do. First of all, give it up for Ride with 2 Eyes. Make sure to download that app. Twin Cities Orthopedics, Summit Brewery, we love them.
Yep.
Drink Summit beers at Palmer's Bar. That sounds like the right thing to do, win or lose. Giacchino's Pizza, of course, Goya Foods. But then get to MPLSCitySC.com. Might be tickets for the Des Moines match, might be tickets for any home games, finding out where this squad's going to be, when, and what's happening with your favorite Crows bunch. Get merchandise and just soak in Minneapolis City, uncorporate Minneapolis City and the Crows via MPLSCitySC.com. I'm Eric Nordquist. I'm with John Bisworm. I'm disappointed that the 19-game unbeaten streak had to come to an end. These 2-1 losses against Duluth are annoying, but maybe, as you mentioned, it will be a learning spell for the home team.
Right, exactly.
Thank you, as always, for tuning in to us, following at MPLS City SC on Twitter, and joining us for Saturday Night Soccer at Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg, home of the Augies and home of your Crows. Have a fantastic evening.